I'm so lucky. Everything works out for me. She says it like it's a fact, like it's already decided. And somehow, it is. Promotions, relationships, opportunities that feel almost orchestrated. But here's the question nobody asks. Is this manifestation or is it psychology? Because what if lucky girl syndrome isn't magic at all, but a mental formula that literally rewires how you experience reality? In early 2023, the internet became obsessed with lucky girl syndrome, the belief that if you truly convince yourself, life bends in your favor. It actually does. TikTok creators posted their morning routines, their manifestations, their inexplicable wins. Critics called it toxic positivity, spiritual bypassing, delusional disguise as empowerment. But here's what they missed. There's a real science underneath the glitter. Because luck isn't random, it's not magic, and it's not delusional, at least not entirely. Luck is a skill, and today we're learning how to build it. Today, we're cracking open the psychology of why some people seem chronically lucky and how your brain is already wired to be one of them if you know how to activate it. Lucky girl syndrome hit the internet in early 2023 like a spiritual awakening. The premise was simple. Belief creates reality. If you woke up every morning and genuinely believed that good things were happening to you, that opportunities were finding you, that timing was on your side, and that the universe was rooting for you, then it actually would happen. Not because of magic, not because the universe is sentient, but because you're change how you move through the world. Originators called it delusional confidence, leaning into the delusion so hard that your brain stops questioning it. And that was the hook. Not positive thinking, not good vibes, delusional confidence, the kind of certainty that doesn't wait for proof. Now here's the backlash. Critics immediately fired back. Toxic positivity, spiritual bypassing, a way for privileged people to ignore systemic barriers. And they weren't entirely wrong. Belief alone doesn't pay bills. It doesn't dismantle discrimination. It doesn't cure illness. But what they were missing was this. Belief does change behavior, and behavior changes outcome. The psychology isn't mystical. It's measurable. It's being studied for decades, and it's more powerful than most people realize. Let's talk about what actually is happening in your brain when you believe you're lucky. The reticular activating system. Right now, your brain is receiving thousands of pieces of information every second. The color of someone's shirt, the sound of traffic, the pain in your lower back, the smell of coffee. Your brain cannot process all of it, so it filters. And the filter is called your reticular activating system. The reticular activating system is basically a bouncer. It decides what information gets through to your conscious awareness. And what's the wild part? Your beliefs control what the RAS lets you through. When you believe you're lucky, your RAS starts filtering for opportunities instead of obstacles. You don't suddenly become lucky. You start noticing luck. The job posting was always there, but now you see it. The person who would have been a great friend, but now you approach them. The timing aligned, but now you recognize it. A study by researcher Richard Wiseman showed lucky people and unlucky people in the same room with the same opportunities. The lucky people spotted them 3 times more often, not because they had better opportunities, but because their brain was turned to notice them. Concept 2, the self-fulfilling prophecy. In 1948, psychologist Robert Merton coined this phrase, and it's one of the most powerful psychological phenomena we know. A belief that leads to behaviors to make the belief come true. Now, here's how it works. You believe, I'm lucky in relationships. This belief makes you more open, more approachable, more resilient after rejection because you're not afraid to expect good things. So you talk to more people, you go to more events, you take more romantic chances, and statistically, the more shots you take, the more you score. So again, that's not luck, that's probability mathematics. But from the inside, it feels like luck. I just know he was gonna ask me out. I could feel it, yeah, because you acted like someone who expected it. Concept 3, the placebo of optimism. Here's something that will blow your mind. Studies show that optimism alone improves cognitive function, creativity, and problem-solving ability, even when circumstances don't change. You're not manifesting a different external reality. You're upgrading your internal processing. Optimistic people under stress show better focus, they make more creative connections, they persist longer on difficult problems. They're more likely to notice solutions others miss. So when you believe things will work out, your brain literally functions better. And a better functioning brain solves problems faster. That's the magic. That's the mechanics of it. But here's where this story gets dangerous, where belief becomes delusion, where lucky girl syndrome becomes lucky girl collapse. There's a fine line between optimism and delusion, and most people cross it without realizing. Psychologists call it unrealistic optimism bias, the tendency to believe that bad things won't happen to you specifically. Other people get sick, other people get divorced, other people go broke. But you're lucky. You're different, you're immune. This is the same bias that make people smoke cigarettes while believing they won't get cancer, drive recklessly while believing they won't crash, ignore health symptoms while believing they'll go away, stay in abusive relationships while believing it's not that bad, ignore red flags in partners while believing everything always works out for me. The belief becomes armor against reality. The reality has a way of breaking through. Psychologists call this the illusion of control, believing you can influence randomness through thought or willpower. I manifested that. My energy attracted it. Maybe it's a coincidence, or maybe it's probability. But when you attribute everything to your luck, you stop taking responsibility for your choices, which makes you stop protecting yourself. You just believe, and then one day that happens, something that doesn't fit the narrative, and the response is always the same. I must have manifested this. My energy wasn't right. I'm not lucky anymore. Instead of, I ignored red flags, I made a choice, and now I'm dealing with the consequences. That's not manifestation, that's abdication of responsibility. So if lucky girl syndrome isn't magic and genuine delusion is dangerous, what actually makes someone lucky? The answer is simpler than the internet wants to admit, and also more powerful. Psychologist Richard Wiseman spent years researching what actually separates lucky people from unlucky ones. His findings were published in the Luck Factor 2003, and they cut through all the mysticism. People aren't magic. They're not specifically chosen. They're not more deserving. They just have 4 consistent habits. Habit 1, they notice chance opportunities. Remember the RAS? Lucky people have trained theirs to filter for possibility. They go places, they talk to people, they stay alert, and because they're alert, they see openings others miss. The stranger mention a job opening. With that luck, or did luck require her to be in the coffee shop open to conversation? Habit 2, they're relaxed and socially open. Here's something counterintuitive. Anxious people miss opportunities. When you're tense, your brain is in threat detection mode. You're scanning for danger. So you don't see possibility, you see risk. Lucky people are calmer. They're curious, they approach the world of the place of potential, not peril. And because they're approachable, people approach back. Opportunities gravitate toward open people. Closed people repel them. Habit 3, they trust their intuition. I just had a feeling. Something told me to go. I don't know why I said yes, but I'm glad I did. Lucky people listen to their voice. And it's not mysticism, it's subconscious pattern recognition. Your brain processes millions of data points, contexts, micro-expressions, energy vibes. Your intuition is your brain saying, something isn't right about this. I can't explain it, but trust me. When you ignore your intuition because you're afraid of overthinking, you miss opportunities. When you listen to it, you move with timing instead of against it. Habit 4, they reframe bad luck as feedback. Here's the final piece. Lucky people don't avoid bad things. Bad things happen to them too, rejection, failure, loss, but they don't interpret it as proof they're unlucky. They interpret it as data. That didn't work. What's the next move? Unlucky people interpret it as proof. See, I'm cursed. Nothing works for me. And that belief makes them passive, defensive, closed. Lucky people have what Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset, the belief that failure is information, not identity. So they recover faster, they try more, they're more resilient, and resilience is just luck wearing running shoes. That's what lucky girl syndrome actually is. It's not delusional, it's a systematic approach to living that makes good outcomes more probable. So how do you train your brain to be lucky? It's simpler than you think and harder than you'd like. Tool 1. Prime your RAS. Every morning, write down 3 things that went right yesterday. Not big things. Anything counts. A good conversation, a moment of beauty, someone being kind. Your brain needs evidence that good things happen. When you give it that evidence daily, the RAS starts hunting it for it automatically. After 30 days, you'll start noticing opportunities you would have missed before, not because they appeared, but because you trained your brain to see them. Tool 2, name it out loud. I'm lucky. Good things happen to me. I'm open to possibility. It's cheesy. Your rational brain will cringe. Say it anyways. Neuroscience shows that speaking beliefs aloud activates different neural pathways than thinking them. Your brain hears it and goes, okay, if she's saying this, maybe we should look for evidence. You're not lying to yourself, you're programming yourself. Tool 3, make micro risk. Every luck break is hiding behind a small risk you were willing to take. Talking to a stranger, saying yes to an event, applying for something you're not sure about, trying something new. Lucky people roll dice more often, so luck finds them more often. You don't need to take big risks. Small ones compound. The more you roll, the more you win. Tool number 4, hold optimism but check reality. This is the critical one. Manifestation without feedback is delusion. Manifestation with strategy is psychology. Believe things will work out and take actions to make it likely. Expect good fortune and notice red flags. Stay open to possibility and protect yourself from harm. The sweet spot isn't believe hard enough. It's believe and act wisely. That's where real luck lives. Maybe the secret of lucky people isn't that the universe bends for them. Maybe it's that they stopped fighting it. They stopped moving through the world expecting scarcity, rejection, and failure. Instead, they moved to expecting beauty, possibilities, and connections. And because they'd expected and acted it, they found it. Because in the end, luck isn't found. Luck is noticed. Luck is the result of belief aligning with action. Luck is your brain finally turned to the frequency where good things happen every day. And that frequency is available to you right now. You just have to tune in.